What's up, true believers? There's very little that excites me more than knowing that Spider-Girl, the Complete Collection Volume 4, is coming out. And you can figure out that my review is going to be a positive one just from that. I've been a Spider-Girl fan my entire life. I've got all the issues, and I'm still buying these complete collections. So that is a testament to this series. Volume 1 is actually sold out and out of print and kind of getting hard to find now. So pick those up if you can. Definitely do that. My name is John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author, an award-winning comic creator, and this is one of the books that inspired me to write comics. So if you like my thoughts on comics, and if you're interested in my stuff, I would very much appreciate it if you go to the links below, check out some of the books there, get on our Subscribestar, support the content and the channel. You guys are awesome people who do so, and I appreciate it. All right. This is the Complete Collection Volume 4, as mentioned. Very happy that they've seemed to have like switched printers or changed their issues because the first volume, I had to buy 2 of them because one of them fell apart. And I was not going to not have a nice Spider-Girl Complete Collection because I just love this stuff. So this is issues 51 through 67 through here. And the art is, it starts out with a fill-in issue I forgot happened. And Sean McKeever wrote this with another artist. You can tell it's very different than the other Spider-Girl stuff. And it's just this guy this is from a guy who's like got a crush on her and is writing kind of creepy love letters. And he's moving away. So he's totally irrelevant. Really weird fill-in issue. I don't even know why they did that. So it adds nothing to the story. Then we get back into Spider-Girl, which continues along from last volume. So there's a lot of stuff that just evolves over time. So this is very much like classic Marvel Comics. Every issue's really got a story to it. There's characters who are developing. There's this like whole side cast of characters. A lot of references to the MCU overall, especially the stuff from the 90s. You see a Scarlet Spider here, and it's female. And so it's clearly not the original Scarlet Spider. And it's actually Black Cat's daughter, who's going around and just doing stuff with Mayday here. Now, this is Ron Frenz's art. I think he has very dynamic art that's a lot of fun, and he's one of my favorite artists out there because he just does good work. And, you know, you get some pretty expressiveness through things. It's very much standard comic house style. Some of it's not perfect. I mean, there's a kind of odd pose here. I mean, you get a big head and all that, but, you know, whatever. It feels cartoony enough that it just like feels like old comics. Now, Mayday Parker is in a spot where she's actually fallen in love with the grandson of the original Green Goblin, Normie, who's all grown up. And this takes place with Peter Parker as like a aging adult. He's lost his leg. Mayday is 16, and she has inherited the powers basically and is becoming coming into her own as a hero basically. And there's all these characters out here. This is an interesting one because it actually starts something that was different than before because there were a lot of one-off issues. And now we're starting into arcs here. And so as we get into this, there's like 6-issue arcs that come out of the storyline. So look at how expressive this is. This is just a panel where it's someone looking on, but you could tell the anguish there. Now, there's a lot of background stuff going on in her high school. There's a girl who's getting beat up by her boyfriend. There's, of course, this Felicity Hardy, who is Black Cat's daughter, trying to establish herself as a hero too. Mayday Spider-Girl is in a love triangle. It's like a love quadrangle, really. She's got J.J. Jonah Jameson's grandson, who's interested in her. She's got a guy, another guy who's from the beginning of the book called Brad, who's just his own deal. And she's got, of course, Normie Osborn doing his thing over the course of this. And the personal developments are very interesting. And there's a problem happening. I love this. This is very, ho, ho, ho. It's like a Die Hard reference right here on the cover with the giant gun. That's fun. Patrick O'Leaf did this issue. He was the one who did the first issues of Spider-Girl. He kind of fills in for Ron Frenz, I guess, when there's an issue here. There's the giant gun again. Yes. She's taking on like a Society of the Serpent sort of thing, but not really. It's like its own new serpent cult that's got like we got a little kiss here. It's got Raw at the head of it, and they're a little beyond her power ability, and there's problems. Phil Urich is actually the Green Goblin in this, and again, he's the nephew of Ben Urich from The Pulse and Daily Bugle and all that, so everybody's kind of related. It's cute, it's cheesy in that regard, but I also kind of love it. Like, it's just like, oh, this is really the next generation, and everybody's here. She leans on Franklin Richards a little bit for advice in this storyline. And she's got a baby brother on the way, who is about to be born, and it's causing Mary Jane problems. They end up going into an alternate universe where she finds alternate versions of herself before coming back. And it kind of helps her gain her confidence and gains her allies in order to fight this, evil Egyptian god. Very fun, so action-packed. Every issue's got so much story packed into it. It's really just wonderful stuff. And then it gets into like this like gang war 6-part arc where you see like somebody's blowing things up all over town, and it's a mystery as to kind of who's behind it. And some of the bad guys are getting blown up, some of the good guys are getting blown up. Normie Osborn's been kidnapped and he's being held, and people are blaming a character called Dark Devil, who's of course Daredevil the Next Generation, because he's disappeared too. Turns out he's just been kidnapped here. This sort of stuff inside Normie Osborn's mind here. I hate that. The trope, like when somebody's in a hospital or whatever, and they're like, quote, fighting for their lives, and they have to like do so in their mind, and they have these like real manifestations of dreams or whatever that like actually impacts their body. It's one of the worst sci-fi tropes out there. It's one of my least favorite things. I love this book, but it's very trope filled. DeFalco's writing is very trope filled. It just makes you feel at home with comics. You know what I'm saying? So they're there, like them or hate them, they're always going to be there. And it turns out that this Mr. Nobody guy has Dark Devil captured this whole time and is causing problems. And eventually they bust in and saves the day here. Look at that action pose. Good stuff. So it's a lot of fun. And the little baby gets born. And then we're kind of out of this issue. Now, her love life stuff is not really resolved. Normie Osborn's interested in this girl, even though Spider-Girl is into Normie Osborn also. And so that develops as kind of a triangle at that point. And then she kind of comes out looking like Mary Jane at the end of this when she gets like a makeover. Good stuff. So if you love Spider-Man, this is honestly like what you should do with Spider-Man in general is kind of stop at the Clone Saga. Maybe you can read a little of the Clone Saga, but pretend like it didn't end the way it did. And then stop reading Spider-Man there and just pick up Spider-Girl and pretend like this is the continuation of it. And that everything after that doesn't exist at all, because this is like classic good Marvel storytelling still done. It's a 10 out of 10 for, even though there's stuff I didn't like I mentioned, I didn't like a trope. It was still really well done. It was a fun issue. That's just my personal preference for that trope. This is just 10 out of 10 comics. So read it, love it, and make sure we keep getting this, because there's a lot more Spider-Girl left to collect, and I don't want them to stop producing these. All right, hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think. I'll see you soon.